everyone. Thank you all for being a part of this session. In this course, we will go over how to integrate Resolume Arena into your live production workflow. We will discuss the various methods to trigger actions within the software and how to drive the software using external clocks and controllers. Here are a few key points we will hit on: DMX, OSC, and MIDI control, linear timecode, also known as LTC and SMPTE, NDI integration, and companion software control. We will conclude the session with a question and answer section. Thank you again for being here, and let's dive in. Alright guys, just to make note, I am a PC user, not a Mac user. If there's something that comes up that I think needs explaining for Mac, I'll bring it up. But for the most part, everything should be one-to-one as far as what you're doing between PC and Mac. That being said, let's jump into our network settings, which is the first thing we need to configure. If you're in a Mac, this will be up here by your clock. There should be like a little wireless symbol. You can click that, and at the bottom it should say Network Adapter Properties or something along that line. And then what I'm about to do, you can follow along within the Mac OSS, minus the automatic metricing. I'm not sure if that's something you can do. You might play around or do a Google search on that. So the first thing we need to do is set up our network adapter to be used for DMX, OSC, and NDI. So we're going to go to our control panel, which if you go up to an address bar and just type in control panel, you should see something like this. From there, I changed it from category down to large icons, the way it was from like Windows 7 or Windows XP previously. It just has everything that you need in one area rather than dealing with categories. First thing we want to do is go to our Windows Defender firewall. You can either create a rule to open up certain ports, but in my case, most of the time my computers are not on the internet ever. So I just go to the Windows Defender firewall and turn these both to off. From there, I can go back to my all items in control panel, and I want to go to Network and Sharing Center. And from here, we're going to change our adapter settings. For this example, I just have a loopback test adapter, but if you have one or multiple network cards, this procedure would be the same for each of these adapters. So you want to right click and go to Properties, followed by your TCP IPv4. And if you're dealing with ArtNet or DMX, it's most likely going to be on a Class A IP, which is a 2.0.0. Whatever you need it to be address. Some people use a 10.0, but majority of the users is going to be 2.0.0. And your console is typically 1. And if you have like an ArtNet node, that's typically 2, 3, 4, or maybe a 10. To be out of the range of everything else, I'm just going to go 220 just because it's way out there. If you hit your subnet mask, it should automatically enter in what you need. Since this is a Class A, it's going to be 255.0.0.0. One more thing to consider is if you want to do multiple things off of a single network adapter, such as running NDI or doing OSC, those are typically done on a Class C IP address. So you could either have two network cards, or you can do this all on one, sharing the network on a network switch. The way you would do this is hit Advanced right here, and you can hit Add, and now we can add in another Class C IP. So it'd be 192.168.0.220. And if you click Subnet, that'll automatically fill in the Class C subnet for you. And at this point, we can now receive Class A and Class C all on the same network adapter without the need for more hardware. If you are using multiple network adapters, NDI sometimes does not like higher metrics. So since this is automatically done, you could have two network adapters and your NDI is coming in on the wrong network card. The way to correct that is to check this automatic metric off, and the network adapter that you want to use for NDI, set that to 1. And then any of your other network adapters, you'll need to come in here and do the same and change the automatic metric down to something in the 8,000 range. And at this point, NDI will pick the lowest metric network adapter, and that is how you will get your video coming in on that network adapter. For this, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that on automatic, hit OK, and we should be good to go at this point to proceed with the rest of the course. So one of the great things about Resolume is there's a lot of different ways you can control it externally. The first thing we're going to look at is DMX or ArtNet. So in order to send all these values, you need to have a console or not. In this example, I'm using MA on PC, but there's Avo, there's Tigers, all sorts of different brands out there. For the MA, you can go up to your setup and then your fixture packs. And from here, I created 2 already, but basically you can add dimmers in and then rename them, and then each dimmer would correspond to a different channel parameter. Or if you're a little more advanced, you can also go in here to fixture types. You can hit add. We can just name one called testing for fun. Then from in here, you go to your attributes. And let's say we go to dimmer. I already created one for layer 1, but you can create new ones like layer 2. And then for each one of these attributes, you need a channel attribute. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but layer 2. It's all like subcategories. So you have your master group, then there's a subcategory for the dimmer, and then within the dimmer, you have subcategories, and then for each one of these categories, there's a parameter you have to create. And then from there, so if I went to the one I created here, I just created 2 of them, and it is a clip select and a layer. And we can save on that, close out. And then when you assign this, you have your dimmer up top, and then here's that layer that we created right here. And then over here under Gobo, I created one called Clip Select. And each one of these will correspond to a DMX channel. And alternatively, you can just create a bunch of dimmers. And at this point, you got, dimmer 1, dimmer 2, however many you want. If you're only going to use 6 channels, you can do 6 dimmers, or you can just group them all together in a custom profile. In Resolume 6, we had a DMX profile for Resolume. It was a lot of wasted channels. I want to say it was like 120 to 150 channels per layer. I can't tell you the last time I've ever used a layer Z anchor point or even a layer X anchor point, but there's a DMX channel for all of that. So you're basically eating up processing and channel values that each of these consoles have a limit for parameters you're never going to use. So in Resolume 7, we decided to make the jump to just have it where users create their own DMX profiles, and that way everything's a lot more condensed and more direct for each specific user. What one user may want is not something another user may want, so we just kind of left it open to have you create whatever you want. So once you set up your console, what you'll need to do is go into Arena, Preferences, and then DMX. From here, you can just hit New Input, and you can assign the universe and subnet and channel offset you're looking for. Do note that some consoles, I believe it is the MA and HOG, start on universe 0, and then Avo starts on universe 1. Don't quote me on that. I know MA for sure starts on channel 0, universe 0, subnet 0, while others start on 1. At the bottom, you want to make sure you select the proper network card that you will be receiving these channel parameters on. The great thing about Resolume is it has a built-in DMX sniffer. So if you click this little right arrow up here at the top, you can now see what all is going on your network in terms of DMX. So right here, subnet 0, universe 3, you can see if I click on channel 1, I'm now controlling channel 1 using a fader. So this is a great way to find out where you are in your DMX network. If you're not sure if it's 0 or 1, just kind of preview which one it is, and whenever you start seeing channel movement, you know you're on the right universe, and obviously the right channel as well. Channel 5 shows right here, channel 5. You click down here, channel 239, kind of get the idea what's going on here. So how do we take these channels and apply that to mapping parameters inside of Resolume? If you come up to the top and then click on Edit DMX, first thing you want to do is create a new one. So we'll come over here, hit New. We're going to type in testing. So at this point, if you need to export your mappings to another machine, you now have a nice preset that you can export. If you hit Show in Explorer, you can see it is now something that you can copy and paste to other machines. So mapping in Resolume is super easy. For instance, we were just moving that fader up and down. Let's say we want to apply that to layer 1's opacity. We can click on the video fader for layer 1, and all you have to do is just move that fader up and down, and it should go ahead and map that for you. So as I move my fader up and down, you can see it just mapped it right here. So it's as simple as that. What you can also do is you can right click on it and hit create a new shortcut, and then you can manually assign it